So in this video, we're going to be looking at investing and how to make your money work for you instead of just spending it. Now, very interesting with ChatGPT breaking this down. It does break it into steps and it breaks it into really the fundamentals that I feel like a 12-year-old would really understand. When we start thinking of famous investor Warren Buffett, he started investing and he bought his first stock when he was 11 years old. When you look at 11 years old, and I believe right now he is 94 years of age, and he did announce right after the meeting that he is going to be stepping down. So he is no longer going to be the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, 94 years of age, and just talk about an incredible life. But he understood these fundamentals in the beginning. So starting with step one, understanding what investing does mean. Investing your money or putting it into something is buying things like stocks, buying ETFs, buying funds that can grow in value over time. This is important. When you want your money, it's not just about the point of saving it, putting it in the piggy bank, putting it away for a rainy day. This is at the point of growing it. So planting seeds that are going to turn into money trees that grow bigger, that grow faster as you put more money in there. And also when you start thinking about the compounding nature of money, it is going to earn more money on the money that you have in there. If your kids have a solid fundamentals when it comes to compounding interest, it is a game changer when you break out a calculator. If you can put in saving $100, let's say from the age of 12 to the age of 65 every single month, if they're working, if they're doing chores, even if you put $5 or $10 in there, you can really see the difference on how much you're investing. Step two, learning about stocks. Stock is a small piece of a company. When we think of Nvidia, Nike, Roadblocks, all of these companies, Nintendo, that they use on a daily basis, that they do see if they're using an iPhone, if they're using a Samsung, this is owning a small piece of that company. When you buy a stock, it is like being a part owner of the company in the entirety. If the company makes more money, the stock or the price or value of the stock will increase as well. If the company loses money, the stock could also lose money. This is very important to note that when you're saving money, when you're learning about the foundation and really the fundamentals of the stock market, it will go up and down. This is where the emotional attachment, whether you're 12 years old, whether you're 40, whether you're 65, there is a very strong emotional attachment when you invest your hard-earned money and you see the value of that money go down. That is where a lot of people pull all of their money out of the stock market. And if you would have pulled it about 10 days ago, you would have missed the best 9 days that we've had in the last 21 years in the stock market. So you have to understand again on a fundamental level that it is going to go up and it is going to go down. So think of it like if you bought a piece of Mr. Beast's YouTube channel, got super popular, that piece you purchased would be worth a lot more money. And it's funny that they notate Nike, Apple, Nvidia, even looking at Mr. Beast in here when it comes to ChatGPT. Now, step number three, try funds instead of just one stock. This again, as a 12-year-old thinking of the fundamentals. And I often reflect back to if I knew this information when I was at 12, saving that piggy bank money and investing that money, try buying a fund instead of a stock. This gets into and out of just an individual company and goes more into like those S&P 500. So a fund is a basket of stocks. So you're taking specific stocks, you're putting them into a large basket. Instead of buying just one company, the fund lets you own tiny pieces of a lot of companies at once. This is less risky, like having too many eggs or all of your eggs into one basket. This gives you a lot of eggs into all different baskets. And as we know, into all different sectors, all different parts of the market, and really has a lot less risk because you have this. Now, a great example of this, of course, is our index funds, which follows the whole market, looking at the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, looking at, possibly the Russell 2000. There are a lot of different ways to index fund investing. And overall, when you start looking at an extended amount of time, and again, from a 12-year-old's perspective, when you start looking and really going out 20, 30, 40 years, a majority of financial advisors cannot beat an index fund like the S&P 500, which is where I would really start. When we look at fundamentals, when we start looking at what Warren Buffett said, every single person should own the S&P 500. Boom, done, the end. That's what you should own in its entirety. Step number four, ask your grown-ups to help opening an account. Now for me personally, I have custodial accounts, custodial investment accounts for both of my kids. We put money in a bi-weekly basis because legally you cannot invest on your own. There are a few accounts that have and can invest a little bit earlier. I know JP Morgan, a couple other investing houses, and they do have these custodial investment accounts that you can set up, that you control until they turn 18 years of age. And then it goes in there. They note Fidelity Youth, Greenlight, Acorns Early. There's a few that are built specifically around it. Now, the thing that I really caution you here is the gamification of investing. We've seen it with Robinhood. We've seen a lot of troubles that they've got into where a lot of kids don't think it's real money when they're putting real money in, or they're kind of investing into things that they don't know about at all, like cryptocurrency, which can be very detrimental. And if they're seeing really big losses or they're seeing their money go away, chances are they're not going to have a positive experience or the interaction with investing itself. Now, when we look at step number 5, investing money you don't need right away. This is, again, very, very important. When it comes to investing, you are looking at a 5-year plus time frame. This means maybe not investing the birthday money or the allowance if they plan to spend it in the next week or two, or even taking a portion of it. That's kind of how we do it, where if there's birthday money, if there's allowance, let's say taking half of that, it is the savings, it is the investment vehicle. The rest of it, they're allowed to use, they're allowed to spend. Only invest money that you can leave alone for a multiple of years. The longer you can leave it alone, the better that you can. The more time it has to grow, the compounding interest of magic is going to happen. When you start looking at more it grows, the more it compounds, just like a giant snowball. It is a really good reference point where if you start at the top of the hill and you have $100, you have a very small snowball, then you continue putting $100 in there. As the snowball continues, as the days and months and years and decades go by, if you continue building and adding $100 into that snowball, by the time you get 40 years down the road, you're going to have a massive, gigantic, multi-million-dollar snowball at the bottom of the hill, all ready for early retirement because you started saving at a very young age. And the final advice, start small. Even investing $5 a week, if you think about it, the compounding effect, $5 a week adds up. You're talking $20 a month. Guess what? You're investing a lot more than a lot of Americans are. There's most people not putting money in 401ks. We're not seeing IRA contributions, HSA contributions, even living paycheck to paycheck with any investment accounts. Almost 38% of Americans do not invest anything at all. If you're starting at age 12 and starting to put $5 a week in there, $20 a month, that will add up really quick. When again, you start thinking of, $20 a month, then you start looking at the course of a year, boom, you got a couple $100 in there. If you continue this cycle and just increase the cycle as you're going, not only will it compound on top of what you're having in there, but it will also grow. Now with that, being consistent, that is another huge part. Keep adding to your investment on a regular basis without doing the withdrawals. Thinking long-term, don't freak out if the investment goes down. That is something that you're gonna have. And of course, keep learning. Reading books like The Teen Investor or watching simple YouTube educational videos like what we're doing right here to get the advice and really understand what you're investing in and what it is going to look like. And if you like the advice and really the guidance that I'm putting out there with the financial education, definitely let me know in the comments. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.